Hello, hi, and good evening. Welcome back from the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal have just beaten up against Liverpool by 3 goals to 1. What a beautiful game of football that was. Very entertaining action that saw Liverpool complete the game with down to 10 men after Ibrahim Konate was sent off following double caution or 2 yellow cards, with both fouls coming up against Kai Havertz, who I thought was quite good on the day. He wasn't perfect, he wasn't very outstanding, but I do think he was quite good, really good on the day. He did what he was supposed to do. He made the right runs, and in one way or the other, he was very contributory to the way Arsenal went forward, especially that first goal that Bukayo Saka did score against Alison Ramses Becker. It was Kai Havertz who had the open run and had a keeper to beat that Alison Ramses Becker did save, and then Bukayo Saka on the rebound did open the scoring for the Gunners in the first stanza. Arsenal did dominate a play, at least in my opinion, for the first half. They had, I think, about 13, more than 13 touches in Liverpool's box as compared to 3 touches or 4 that Liverpool had in their box. So that clearly tells you who was at the receiving end of attacks in this game. Obviously, it was Arsenal dominating their affairs, but all that good work done in the first half was washed away in the last minutes or last seconds of the stanza when William Saliba made a mess of himself. He had the ball in his stride, tried to protect it and call on to David Raya to come and collect it up when Luis Diaz nicked that ball. It bounced off Gabriel Magalhaes, who handled it in the process, and it ended up in the back of his own net. So it passed as an own goal by Gabriel Magalhaes. But very entertaining action from the Emirates Stadium. Beautiful, beautiful game of football. Of course, when we came back for the second half, after that disappointing conclusion for Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans were really delighted, having ended 1-1 because Arsenal had dominated the affairs. Coming back into the second half, Liverpool did come back with a lot of energy. They dominated the first 5 to 10 minutes of the second half. They tried to pin Arsenal back, although Arsenal did manage to make a run or two in between those minutes, but it was Liverpool that were looking more likely to get the second goal in the game. And then of course Arsenal had made a change in their starting lineup. They had withdrawn Zinchenko at left back for Jakub Kiwior. So I think Mikel Arteta sensed that given that he was playing a very electric Liverpool side, he needed to be a little bit more combative, more decisive, especially on that left flank. So he decided to withdraw Zinchenko. Whether or perhaps it could have been an injury issue that maybe Zinchenko did feel something, we will know much later. But then in the second half, it was again on the other side. Gabriel Magalhaes plays a long pass for Gabriel Martinelli, who seems to be out of its stride, with Virgil van Dijk seeming in control, calls on Alison Ramses Becker to come and collect the ball, and they too make a mess of themselves and fail to clear the ball. And then Gabriel Martinelli scores in an open net. 2-1 it was. And then the game was on. Liverpool were desperate to get that equalizer. It looked likely that they would get the equalizer until they were reduced down to 10 men, like I said, with Ibrahim Konate getting his second booking with a foul, what appeared to be a block on Kai Havertz. So he was sent off. Fast forward, Gabriel Martinelli is withdrawn, Leandro Trossad is brought on. Later on, Bukayo Saka is also withdrawn. He seemed to be paid at the time when he was withdrawn for Reece and Nelson. But the substitute, Leandro Trossad, then in the dying minutes of the game, goes ahead to bury this tie when he went on that run running almost 40 yards into the box. I did think that he had closed down, he had narrowed down the angle for himself, and yet there was no Arsenal player desperately running into the box, begging for that ball to be passed to him to score. So, having run for all those yards with the ball on his right foot, he went on his left foot and fired the ball in the back of the net, in between the legs of Alson Ramsey-Becker to make it a 3-1. Now, if you want to know how much that goal meant to Arsenal, not just the Arsenal fans, but to the club, all the team as a whole, look at Mikel Arteta's celebration. He went in a wild celebration. Only in the moment he did remember that he had to restrain himself, not running into the fans there, because perhaps he had been booked or even banned by the FA. So he managed to turn himself around and and not overdo it. But there it finished, 3-1 for Arsenal against Liverpool. Now that means Arsenal have completed a double against this Liverpool side. Remember, sorry, it's not a double. The first leg did end 1-1 at Anfield, so they have managed to beat Liverpool by 3-1, taking 4 points off of them. Now, the victory means that they closed down on that 5-point gap to reducing it to 2 against the league leaders, that's Liverpool, who are at 51 points as they move to 49 points. Now, of course, Arsenal leap into second place, but all that will await the result that will come off from Manchester City when they play Brentford tomorrow. My gut feeling says Manchester City will go ahead and win that game and continue to tighten this title race. So at this moment, Arsenal seem to be back in the title race with that victory against Liverpool. 3-1, Mikel Arteta getting another over Jurgen Klopp, who beat him, who knocked him out of the FA Cup. So generally, I did think it was a great performance. If you were to ask me who my man of the match was, I'd be torn between Jorginho in that Arsenal midfield and Kai Havertz, because for them it was all about business. Do what you're supposed to do, nothing extra. Do not be, do not try and be too bright. Just do what you're supposed to do. Get the basics right, and it's game on. Very, very incredible action. Beautiful action to watch there. So that's the review. We'll discuss more of that action and the other results from Super Sunday, including Manchester United that did beat up against West Ham by 3-0. Alejandro Garnacho did score a double in that game, as well as Rasmus Højlund were equally on the score sheet. So, yes, a lucky club. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time. Yes, like I was saying, we'll review most of the action from Super Sunday much later, perhaps tomorrow. And thank you for, do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new on the channel, and I'll see you next time. Stay blessed and have a good night. But do not remember, yes, at 11 p.m., it's the Madrid derby, Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. It's what we are going to watch before we wind down the weekend and then wait for Monday Night Football when Brentford hosts Manchester City. Stay blessed.